Guys, I feel old. I am 27 now. I feel old. I am old. I can't even go another sentence without saying the word old. Everything that I think about is how old I am. Well, I guess that's kind of the phase of life that I am right now. That's totally fine. I just have to try not to think about it and not use the word oh. Seriously though, at this point in my life, I'm starting to wonder, are birthdays meant to be celebrated? Because it seems like every year you inch closer to death. Ooh, that was a really somber way to think about it. But hey, but hey, it's kind of true. No matter how you look at it, and hey, even if you don't know what that last day of your life looks like, you're getting closer to it. Anyway, so I actually had a bomb awesome birthday. It was a really, really good day. Probably one of the best days I had in my life since a very long time. I don't remember when, but it was pretty darn good. So here's kind of how the day started. First of all, I woke up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning. Not on purpose, of course, because who in their right minds would actually wake up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning? It was totally an accident. I mean, my regular wake up time at 5 o'clock, some people are already telling me that I'm a little crazy, but 3:30 is just a little too early. And I don't know why I actually woke up that early. I just couldn't sleep for some reason. You know, maybe there was some kind of dream that woke me up, or maybe I was just so excited that it was my birthday. So yeah, anyway, I got up and got dressed, brushed my teeth, and I started my daily devotion where I read one chapter of the Bible every day and write my reflections on BibleReadingDaily.com. Anyway, that takes me up to 4:30 a.m. I spend the next 2.5 hours doing deep work. And what I mean by deep work is basically work that requires your full focus and full intensity, uninterrupted distractions. And the morning is the best time to do this because no one else is around. No one else is awake to poke you or distract you or, you know, I don't know. People are very easily distracted nowadays and are very, very good at distracting other people as well. So I like to do that in the morning because there's none of that. Although I usually don't begin at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, but that day just happened to be like that. So that takes me up to around 7 a.m. and this is the time when I start to do my exercise. And I have a pretty simple exercise routine. It's nothing too complicated. Basically, for the duration of roughly 1 hour, I do a 2-mile run, and then I do 4 sets of 5 pull-ups, 4 sets of 15 push-ups, 4 sets of 30 leg raises, and 4 sets of 15 squats. And no weights, no equipment required, other than that pull-up bar that I use outside. But otherwise, yeah, I don't have any equipment at home. That stuff is too complicated. I just don't do any equipment stuff. So, and then I get a little bit of rest time at the end too. It doesn't take me the full hour. It takes me about 45 to 50 minutes to do. So yeah, that takes me up to about 8 o'clock. And at 8 o'clock, I get another hour to do deep work. Again, focused work with no distractions. So, and it could be anything that I want. And now, the best part of the day is when the girlfriend shows up. We basically spent the whole day together. We started the day off by going to a very nice brunch place. It was the first time that I actually went to a outdoor dining restaurant during the middle of this pandemic. And it was, the food was good, but I feel like the tables could have been a little more farther apart and made us slightly uncomfortable. But I think we were okay. But just, yeah, I think a little bit of distance would have made me feel better about that. Then after that, we went to go get some dessert, which was great. So after brunch, we just kind of chilled around for a bit. And then in the afternoon, we went to go get some boba milk tea, which was very nice because it was a hot day outside and it really helped to cool us off. On top of that, because I had woken up at 3:30 a.m. this morning, I was legitimately scared that I would crash early. So the extra caffeine boost definitely really helped as well. So after the drink, we came back home and started playing this ridiculously difficult video game level. It's a game called Cuphead. It is really, really hard, and the level that we played was also really, really hard. Took us a good amount of time to beat, but we were eventually able to beat it, which feels pretty good. Felt like a true accomplishment. And finally, after chilling for a little bit longer, we went to a fancy Japanese restaurant for dinner. And this restaurant was very amazing. I am very satisfied with the food that we had, and because it was a little bit more upscale than the brunch place we went to, the way that the restaurant did the distancing was a lot farther apart. They actually had a temperature sensor that was contactless. You just stand in front of this machine and it kind of measures the temperature of your body. The entire experience was actually quite pleasant. I would definitely go back again. Finally, after we got back from dinner, we took a walk around the park. And it was really nice to end the day like that when it was not too hot outside and a lot more cool. So that took me up to about 9 o'clock, and I finally bid her goodbye at that point. And I was actually surprised that I was able to make it all the way throughout the day. I really thought that I was going to crash earlier, but thankfully I didn't. So yeah, that was probably one of my best days ever. So I will say that I am grateful to be at this age. Because where Hamilton is from.
Some get half as many.
So yeah, why am I deciding to take on this 30-day YouTube challenge? Because I'm experiencing a quarter-life crisis. Just kidding. Not completely kidding though. For reals though, I feel like I kind of wanted to try something new and give it a fair shot. I've posted a few videos in the past before, but it's been kind of on and off, and I just feel like I didn't really give it a fair shot. So by forcing myself to do it 30 days straight in a row, it's going to give me an idea of what it's actually going to be like to be doing this. And I think this could be fun for a number of reasons. You know, one reason would be just to get to interact with this YouTube community. There's a lot of people out there, and I'm just like a tiny, tiny little dot in this whole spectrum of the entire universe. And this gives me an opportunity to interact with people who are probably outside of my echo chamber, and not just the people that I see and meet and hear from on like a daily basis, but you know, maybe even beyond that. So it's kind of like a way for me to explore beyond what I already know. And the other thing is, I have been consuming content on the internet ever since I could, and I feel like I haven't really contributed anything back. So this is kind of like my way of doing that. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I certainly hope that whatever I contribute will be somewhat useful to you. At the very least, entertaining. But yeah, and I really don't have any idea what exactly I am going to be talking about. And I'm just going to kind of figure that out as I go. And maybe you might have some ideas for me. I am totally open to that. Just leave comments below. That's all, folks. I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow.